I seriously question whether, you could say that what's happened is due to catastrophic mistakes, and whether indeed the application of rational ideas in themselves would be a solution. I mean, given our experience here, it's very, very clear that through the whole Celtic Tiger period, that the entire establishment, and when I stress that, the ESRI, soft landing, the central bank, they could have applied regulations that they would listen to the banking inquiry. The various political parties, the opposition were looking for more neoliberal policies than the government. And all the academics, except for Morgan Kelly, not a word of it, right? And why? Any sensible person, perhaps with a trade union background like myself, would say it's not to do with wrong ideas or mistakes. They were making too much money out of it. It's very, very simple. And in Europe, the things that have happened in the EU, isn't it a very simple notion that when they were trying to establish a single market, we had development funds and we had cohesion funds and all that, until they got their home market established. And now that there's a crisis, another crisis, there's been capitalist crisis for hundreds of years. We have another crisis now. They're now bringing in laws to make, Ireland is really a quasi-colony. I suppose, it isn't just the payment of debt, the interest, the 8 billion a year that they're paying. It's not just because they refuse to tax the rich and borrow more for public expenditure, and now we're trying to make us do it. Just yesterday, a few days ago, they just sold off the Dundrum Shopping Centre. I believe that the outflow of monies from Ireland now, as a sort of quasi-colony, are probably greater proportionally than in Michael Davitt's time, except it's not land we're dealing with anymore. So, how can we depend on, I wouldn't use the blunter term now, the Rollins, about transnational sectoral cleavages, right? I use much blunter terms. Isn't it about time that the trade union leaders in Europe stop all this nonsense? We're now facing into a budget, they want to give hundreds of millions to the rich. There's more neoliberalism, right? I value the comments and the analysis that you've made, but I very seriously question whether anything other than traditional methods of ordinary people organising together to vindicate their interests of themselves and their families, whether anything else on a trans-European basis will solve this problem. I wouldn't trust in good ideas from any establishment. That's our experience here.
No trade unions.
Well, in terms of your initial point, one could argue that the word policy mistakes is the wrong word. I'm using policy mistakes in terms of they were mistaken in terms of the consequences that they had for the economy as a whole, assuming policymakers care about the public interest. If you think that they're purely thinking in terms of their self-interest, they might not be policy mistakes per se, they might be deliberate policies with negative consequences for the public realm, but which have positive consequences for the actors themselves. That said, I think Chancellor Merkel probably regrets, in fact I'm pretty sure she regrets the bailout of Greece in 2010. So I would say that that's clearly a mistake. In terms of the role of the trade unions, I think that they have a role to play. The idea that you're going to solve the deeper issues of, say, financial governance or dysfunctional fiscal institutions or lack of democratic accountability solely through trade unions, I think is to put a lot on their plate.